There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello BookTube, I'm Shawn the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel. Here I am with a short review of Aminatta Forna's novel, Happiness, published in 2018. It's my first novel by Aminatta Forna, and I look forward to trying more of her stuff. I read this novel as part of my stint as a BookTube Prize judge, and I just finished it earlier today. So this is a hot take. It will be published at the end of the judging term, end of July or early August. If you are seeing this hot take review, that means I didn't change my mind in retrospect. I don't think I will, so I want to get my thoughts such as they are while they're still really fresh. Aminatta Forna is a really interesting writer. She is a mixed-race Scottish and Sierra Leonean writer. She was born in Scotland in 1964. Her father was Sierra Leonean, her mother Scottish, and she has lived... Oh wow, I'm just scanning her Wikipedia page, and her father went back to Sierra Leone. He was a doctor, and then he went back and got involved in political stuff and got imprisoned and was executed on charges of treason in 1975. I'm just learning that as I speak. That sheds quite a bit of light on things going on in the novel. As far as I'm aware, just scanning this, she has lived most of her life in the UK. Lives in London now. I am sorry to say that I didn't like this novel. I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was very good. It was a 3-star read for me, which in my books is a book that's not very good. And what didn't work for me was that these characters did not come to life for me at all. There was so much story. It was cluttered and clotted with narrative and musings and nature writing. I learned more about foxes than I really cared about the central characters. And the central characters were Attila, and he is a Ghanaian psychiatrist who has arrived in London to deliver a keynote address to a conference, and he literally bumps into the other main character, Jean, an American who's living in London and studying the habits of urban foxes. And a relationship, association, acquaintanceship unravels at a maddeningly molasses-like pace between them, and they just didn't come alive for me at all. I was so bored by this book. There was a lot of interesting things on an intellectual level, like urban foxes and Attila's work all over the world with the UN as a trauma expert. But it didn't breathe. There was no fire. There was no passion. I didn't really care about anything that happened in this book. I really didn't. And at a certain point, a couple days ago, I had an aha moment. I probably would have bailed if I hadn't been judging for this. About halfway through, because I didn't care about anything, I would have bailed. That's, if I don't care, I bail. But this was for a BookTube Prize judge, and apparently I'm allowed to bail and still rank the books on my list, but I don't think that's right. So I persevered, and I regret it. I mean, you know, bailing is better than suffering through bad books. Always. But I took an additional responsibility to read it for this process. But I had an aha moment, which was, it was holding my interest enough to keep turning the pages. I mean, I wanted to bail, but there was things about it. There was experiences that were being described that were interesting, like Jean's work with wolves back in America before she left her family, left her husband, and came to London. Attila's work on war-torn regions with trauma, and so on and so on. My aha moment was, I feel like I'm reading a book-length New Yorker article. I feel like I'm reading nonfiction. You know how a really well-done magazine article takes you a certain way inside the characters that they are describing, that they have interviewed? That's what this was like. But that's not fiction. Nonfiction is great, but fiction is magic, and there was no magic here. I didn't ever feel Like I was pulled deep inside any of these characters, and the the relationship between them was so dull and chemistry free and just mind-numbingly like nothing. They were just so obtuse about each other, and every personal relationship in the book had that quality to it. It's like I couldn't feel what anybody meant to anybody else. So I was really disappointed. I'm giving it 3 stars because it had a certain level of competence. It described things that I was interested in, like I keep repeating this, but foxes and wolves and stuff like that. But it failed utterly as a satisfying novel because the characters were just dead. They were deadening. They deadened me as a reader. They were so 2-dimensional, not 3. So yeah, I didn't like it. I'm certainly going to try others of her books. I have had The Hired Man recommended, one of Britta Bowler's top 10 reads of all time. I will certainly try that, but this was a big disappointment. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.